Talking to her friend, Mayara shows her bag and says that she really needs to change it for a new one, because she is already sick of the one she has. The friend says, "But she is so beautiful, friend, are you sure? She looks so young." However, she insists that she is already nauseous and that she is going to change. The friend comments that she also needs some new clothes, so Mayara calls her to go to the mall saying that she is also going to buy clothes, and the friend says, "But you already have a lot of clothes, are already in need of making a donation." She agrees, saying that then all she has to do is donate some and go buy new ones. Not believing how she spends money, her friend advises, "Wow, you spend a lot of money. It can't be like that," and she justifies herself by saying it's all an investment. At that time, Mayara's boyfriend arrives wearing a mechanic's outfit, asking, "Hi, excuse me, can I talk to my girlfriend?" Kayuri, the friend, nods, and Mayara says, taking his hands away from her shoulder and looking disgusted, "Why are you wearing that outfit?" Before the boyfriend answered, the friend questioned why she is treating him in such a bad way. The boyfriend replies, "Love is because my company went bankrupt, so you know, in difficult times like this, we have to know how to overcome, and then I became a mechanic. I'm working in the workshop nearby." Without believing it, she says, "What do you mean mechanic?" Rodrigo is saddened by her reaction and replies, "I thought you were going to support me. Look, Mayara, I had a lot of problems with the company, and I had to sell. All I expected from you was at least the minimum of support." Mayara asks how he could say that to her only now when they've been dating for so long, and the guy replies that all companies are like that, they go through problems, and the one his is going through was the worst thing that ever happened in his life. Then he understands that maybe it's bad for her, but he needs to work on something else so he doesn't get stuck. She asks if he had to be a mechanic soon and if there wasn't something else better for him to do. The friend then intervenes and says, "Friend, what does he have to work as a mechanic? It's a job like any other." Hearing this, Mayara says that Kayuri is only saying it because she's not going to have a dirty mechanic boyfriend at home. The boy, still outraged by his girlfriend's reaction, says he was sure she would understand. Besides, being a mechanic had been his first job, so he got the hang of it, and it wouldn't cost anything to have his girlfriend's support to overcome this difficult time together. Mayara looks at him as he leaves and says, "Look, Rodrigo, I'm tired, they'll leave." After Mayara leaves, her friend goes to Rodrigo and says, "I'm sorry, she must not be having a good day. I think she must be very stressed. She doesn't stay like that, and anything you need, you can count on me." He, demonstrating that he liked her attitude, thanks her and says that he knows that these little fights are part of the relationship. After saying that, Kayuri leaves and goes to meet Mayara, who was sitting in the food court. The two start talking and the friend asks, "But my friend, why did you treat him that way?" And she replies, "I can't accept it, just this bracelet that's on my arm and this cell phone cost more than 25,000 reais. With him being a mechanic, he'll take me to the snack bar on the corner at most, only if I go." When my friend will answer that she needs to understand that this is Rodrigo's job, he arrives by going straight to Mayara and saying that he needs to talk to her. But already out of patience, she asks what he wants this time. He starts to explain, "I don't think you understand right. I sold the company because I needed to pay the debts. If we weren't going to sink deeper and deeper, I need your support and your understanding, that's all." Mayara, listening to everything he said, says, "Explain to me what I have to do with this? The debt is yours and the company is yours, so turn around." He sits down and confesses, "The situation is not good. Now that I've sold the company, I've managed to pay some debts, but there are still some bills to go. So I wanted to ask you something that maybe you won't want to give me, but it will help a lot and we will be able to rise again. I need your purse to sell." She looks at him with an ironic laugh and says, "I can't believe it crossed your mind at some point that I was going to give you my very expensive bag that I bought outside Brazil so you could settle your doubts." Rodrigo insists, "My love, I know it's difficult, but we're a couple and we need to support each other, help each other, that's what couples do." Mayara does not accept it and says that since he went down alone, then he will have to rise up alone. because she has nothing to do with it and much less will give him the scholarship so that he can pay his debts. After that, she says, "Look, Rodrigo's done, leave and let me talk to my friend, don't take away my peace, go to your job as a mechanic and pay your debts." He shows how sad he is for not having her support in this very difficult time and leaves. As soon as Rodrigo leaves, Mayara continues, talking to her friend, "It was just what I needed, she thinks I should sell my expensive purse to pay off his debt, a mechanic." The friend, showing that she is not agreeing with her attitude, says, "This is not right, you need to help him, that's what he himself said, couples help each other and you can't act like that." When Rodrigo left them, he called a friend and said, "Buddy, things didn't go as I planned, we're going to have to go to plan B, okay? I'm waiting for you here on the corner, we agreed." He hangs up the phone. The friend then goes to where they are talking on the cell phone. When Mayara sees him, she says to her friend, "Look there, I think that's Anderson, Rodrigo's secretary, he's very handsome." Anderson goes to their table and asks, "Mayara, is that you?" She says yes, and talks about what a coincidence it is for them to meet there. Anderson starts talking following the plan. "Yeah, now I'm sorting out some things at the dealership, sales have increased and we're with new suppliers." She is impressed that he is working in car sales and asks that he must be making a lot of money from these sales. Anderson agrees, saying, "And I am, the best thing I ever did was get into this car business, but what about you? It's different, prettier, tell me a little about yourself, what have you been doing?" She replies that she isn't doing anything good and asks him to sit down with them so they can talk and drink something. He agrees to sit down, but says he won't drink anything alcoholic because he's on medication and he's also going to stay for a short time since the day is so busy. Anderson comments that she has never seen Rodrigo again and asks how he is, but Mayara says that she has never seen him again and asks to change the subject by asking if he is single. Seeing that Mayara is doing something wrong, her friend calls her to go to the bathroom to talk. Mayara tells Anderson that they'll be right back and leave. When they get to the bathroom, the friend says, "You need to stop being like that, you need to support your boyfriend at least once." Mayara tells her friend to take a good look at her and says, "Look at my level and Rodrigo's, now he's become a mechanic, how am I going to go out with him to places with those dirty clothes? And Anderson is now very rich and owns a dealership, I'm going to invest in him." The friend is outraged by Mayara's attitudes and how she could be doing this to a guy who always supported her and was with her in the most difficult times, and now she doesn't want to help him with something that she could easily solve. While they are still in the bathroom, Rodrigo arrives and asks Anderson if their plan is working. Anderson replies that it is working very well and tells him to go hide before they come back. Still in the bathroom, Mayara says that it's Rodrigo's fault, who got her used to having everything good and the best so that she can go from rich to poor overnight. The friend explains that she needs to understand that this is just a rough patch, but that he can still get back on his feet and get rich again, so she can't treat him that way. In the food court, Rodrigo hides under the table, and before they go back there, Mayara kept saying that you don't have to wait for a turnaround from anyone, so life will go on and that's it. The friend gives up insisting and accepts the situation, calling her to come back sooner, that Anderson suspects something. They come back and Anderson asks Mayara if she and Rodrigo are fighting or separated. Since she didn't answer, he was confused to understand how their relationship is going. Mayara doesn't answer and changes the subject by asking about the dealership's profits. Anderson replies that this dealership was an old dream of his and luckily it's working and he's making a lot of money, but he doesn't like to talk about earnings. Mayara says that she is happy to know that and asks again if he is single, since he didn't answer the other time. He says that he even tried to meet some girls, but that didn't work out, so he prefers to be alone. She starts to caress his legs, and from under the table Rodrigo takes a picture. Anderson soon takes her hand away and says, "Enough, I'm tired of you, enough of this conversation, you're worthless." The two are questioning what is going on, and he shows his surprise by lifting the table and showing Rodrigo under it. Rodrigo gets up and Mayara, startled, asks what he's doing there, so he replies by taking off his mechanic's clothes. "I'll explain, I'm not broken at all and the company is working very well, it's growing every day, including Anderson is closing several international deals. What I wanted was to test your character and your nature to see if you were really the ideal woman for me, and apparently you are not." She in disbelief asks how he had the courage to test her like that, when she had always loved him. Rodrigo doesn't believe it anymore, says that this is a lie and that she is nothing more than a gold digger, says that he even saw her hitting on Anderson and wanting to take advantage of his money. Finally he says, "Stay there with your greed and get out of here, even stop by the house and get your things, because from today I don't want anything to do with you anymore." Anderson gives Rodrigo one last piece of advice, telling him not to fall for Mayara's interests anymore, and leaves. Mayara says that he will still regret having done that and also leaves. Alone, Rodrigo says to Kayuri, "Look Kayuri, I saw that from the beginning you defended me, worried about me, and I also noticed that you are a person of character and good principles. Would you accept going out with me so we can get to know each other better?" She accepts, and they go.